there is a very, very sad disjunction between the needs of clergy, teachers, writers, and the needs of those whom they preach, teach, and write for. In the principles in human are black bile, red blood, and white milk. In the world of nature, there are trees with milky saps, red sticky resins, and charred black wood. There is black earth, red and white clay. Some people are very deaf or blind to nonverbal signals. I argue that the perception of symbols in as general as their interpretation is socially determined. Sacraments, as I understand, they are signs specially instituted to be channels of grace. The material world itself is viewed as sacramental in the sense that the signs and channels of grace are everywhere, always available. But sacraments, are specially instituted. If we can determine this, then it will be important for the criticism of maladjustments or strained theories of religious behaviors. My name is Adoro Nyango, and welcome to D.T.M, Decoding the Mindset Through the Word of God. Today, we would like to wrap up on some knowledge that we have been learning. We'd like just to see on a few ways that that we can learn in regards to just observing our social, the symbols that are in our socials, even without actually looking into particulars of it. The particulars of the social, where there is molding of human beings' brain. You get what I mean? I think it is in itself a symbol. The institution of knowledge is in itself a symbol in one way or the other. Okay? I would like to give you a story so that we can understand very well. So, there is one village. This village is ruled by one powerful man. One powerful man who rules this village. And in the village, people are very well behaved and mannered. But this powerful man, he was of a doubtful character. Due to his maybe ways of leadership, or maybe just from the view perspective of his other village mates. Okay, you see, when you're in a position of power, you're bound to criticism in one way or the other. You get what I mean? According to how people will view you and understand you. But that does not affect you. You know what I mean? What you do should not affect who you are. Okay? So, there is this powerful man, and then one evening, this guy is walking, he's strolling around in his village, and then in one way or the other, he looks at some direction and he spots a very beautiful girl, and she was very well shaped, and the imagination, your kind of beautiful girl that you can imagine, and the powerful man decides to do what? He falls in love just from love at first sight. He at least experienced it, you know. So this guy falls in love with this lady, and then he decides to approach the lady, you know. So upon approaching the lady, he's like, excuse me, lady. Yes, sir. How are you? I'm okay. You know, the normal conversation here and there. It goes down. The lady says, okay, fine. I wouldn't mind, you know, I wouldn't mind us to know each other. I would give you a second what? A second appointment. I mean, a first appointment. Since we have done what? We have talked and agreed on maybe a second meeting. Okay? So, but there is one thing. The lady says, okay, sir, I appreciate you realize or you recognize that I am very beautiful and well shaped. I am very glad that you realize that. And I would like to know what? To give you a chance to know me better, you know. So I would suggest that we do not just conclude it right now, but I would like us to have some more time. Give me like 7 days. So the lady comes in. She suggests the powerful man to give her what? To give her like 7 days so that she could do what? She could internalize whatever the powerful man was trying to know to tell her. The powerful man agrees. He goes with the emotions and all the feelings in his mind and in his heart. He thinks like he feels like he's already won. He has already won the beautiful girl. But then the beautiful girl had already done what? Had already knew that actually this is a test, and the test needed some actual practice. You know, there are two different perspectives that we are seeing from these two people. The lady who is being seduced here suggests that she could be given time of 7 days. The guy is like, okay, fine. He thinks that since the lady have agreed to give him what? Another meeting after 7 days, he sees there is a chance. There is a chance for cooperation in one or the other. So the girl goes, the man goes back, you know, all that feeling, the kind of lovey-dovey feeling that you feel at the first time you're given a signal that there could be chance here, there could be a chance here, you know. Everyone goes, days come, days go, 7 days come, the day of meeting comes in, the lady goes, but then there is something that the lady had actually thought of before she did what? Before she requested for the 7 days. She had a reason. The reason is this. In between the period of these 7 days, this lady was very busy trying to do what? Trying to tamper, trying to remove all the shape and the nice looking from the outside appearance, which the man only looked and did what? And liked. The lady knew that there was more. There was more into just what? Into just the structuring and all that. But then there was content inside her. And then she decided, now when I go back, before these 7 days come, I will do what? I will inject myself with some laxatives. And she injected herself, and then she 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 got and she decided she started feeling unwell, and eventually she was vomiting and passing like stool and all that. But then she didn't dispose this waste that she had she had done what she had excreted from her body. She was storing them somewhere in pots, like kwa mikebe na kila kitu, mahali kwa room. She locks them inside. And then that 7 day, the lady had lost weight. She had lost weight to an extent that you couldn't even recognize her. You know, The only thing that you could recognize was her voice and perhaps her mentality if you got used to you got used to like maybe telling or chatting with her. Okay? The seventh day is here, we have said. Now the meeting point. The lady is there. She arrived earlier than the powerful man. The man is coming, you know. She looked around. She looks around. She does not see the beautiful girl. The girl is there, but she has lost weight tremendously. You get what I mean? She has lost weight. You can't, to an extent that the powerful man couldn't even recognize her. Okay? So the lady says, "Excuse me, sir. I guess you're looking for me." And then the guy is like, "Excuse me, who are you? By the way, have you seen?" Now the man is asking that lady, "Excuse me, by the way, have you seen some beautiful girl of this and this figure, nice, this complexion, in between chocolate and yellow bone? You get what I mean? And her figure was like this and all that." But then the lady listened to that man, and then she says, "Sir, I believe you're looking for me. I believe you're looking for me." And then the guy is like, "Are you out of your mind, young lady, or rather, old woman?" You get what I mean? He even called her an old woman. So the guy gets frustrated, and because of his doubtful character, he was angry, and he couldn't actually pretend normal. You get? He couldn't actually pretend normal to something that he was disgusted about. And in real sense, clearly, he was disgusted about the conversation which was going on between the two of them. Since he couldn't realize this was the same lady, but she had actually done away with what? With the contents of her body that she thought was making her body look like that. Even before the guy could do what? Could give time to their relationship so that they could know each other. And perhaps know if he could still do what? He could still want that lady. So the guy gets angry. The lady tries to calm him down. But then the lady is very insistive. If you want, do you excuse me, sir, do you really want to prove that it's still me? And then the guy says, "Yes, please prove it for me. I'll take you to my place. I'll take you to my place today. We'll go there and then we'll talk. Please don't go. Let's go this way." The man says yes. After a few hours, they reach home to the lady, and then the lady says, "Excuse me, sir, I would like to show you something special even before we do what? Before we continue." And then the lady says, "Come with me to the next room." They go in the next room. The lady shows the man. Even before that guy could reach that door of the particular room where the lady had preserved this waste, that smell, that smell, that smell. First of all, he couldn't stand it. But then the lady was insistive. He was insisting, "Please just come. I want to show you something special." And then the lady took that guy to the pots where she had preserved what? Where she had preserved this waste. And then opens pot by pot. And then the guy is like, "Please, please, please. I don't even want to see. It's enough. It's enough. I agree that it's enough." Now the lady tells him, "Now come. Let's talk. Let's see how everything goes. You see, excuse me, sir. The lady now is talking. "Excuse me, sir. You see, I did this because I wanted to show you the real components that actually was making my body do what? My body look like that. I just wanted to show you how wrong you are falling with something that it's clearly, if you do not like the contents of the composition that was making that structure that you like, then that means you are falling for something that you didn't know, Now I have shown you and you don't like it. Do you still like me now that I don't have all that figure? The guy was very challenged, and he didn't know what to do. He was actually very challenged in a way that he went thinking through the story again and again so that he could actually know the meaning of all that. He felt challenged with the lady, and the man went. He left the lady in her house, and the lady was very relaxed, and he was very thankful to be very wise and creative in solving what? In solving all that question, because actually, who wants to fall in love with someone who is of doubtful character in the village or in the community or in the country, anywhere? These things, I'm just trying to equate these things in this way. Let me tell you, sometimes knowledge, I said, are knowledge is conveyed in three styles. Okay? Sometimes people just, through the emotional ones, you just see something and you say you like it. You don't even know why you like it. Just like the powerful man. From the seeing of the body structure of the lady, he likes the man. He likes the lady. But then the lady is very, very, very sharp, and since she was very beautiful and saintly, she decides that no, I won't be very quick to do what? To giving in. First, we need to go through these tests. Tests are very important. They are important in life, and they are, you cannot escape tests in life. They are everywhere. It only requires you to know that what lessons of life have I passed through, so that to realize that this is a test. Okay? But in one way or the other, we go through shit before we realize ourselves and realize who we really are and how we should view things, or how things are viewed. So I would like to say that from our introduction, I would like to wrap it up with uh, with the benefits of truth and beauty. This story of the powerful man and the beautiful girl, I would like to say that we would like to say that truth and beauty go hand in hand. Okay? They go hand in hand in a way that everything, when is conveyed in truth and beauty, I everything when everything is conveyed in truth, then the beauty aspect of it just comes naturally. Okay? The beauty aspect of it just comes naturally. That's why um, um, from our previous episode, I said that death and life, in one way or the other, somewhere they have to do what? They have to crisscross. They have to meet somewhere in between here. They have to meet somewhere in between here. If everything have to be well and and uh, and correctly interpreted be interpreted. Vitu, I have said every symbol can be socially determined. Okay? In this way, in this way, let's take this analogy. Let's take this analogy of chess and try to try to look at our argument that if 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 symbols can be socially determined, then the perception of the symbols themselves can, in general, as well as their interpretation, be socially determined. So we said some of the natural social symbols, philosophical, religious aspects, and all that, we picked on some educational. We said since this is an educational content, then I would like to go with the philosophical aspect of it. We have seen the religious aspect of sacrament being like, especially being instituted as a channel of grace. So, in itself, it represents like the whole world. And if it represents like the whole world, that means in this world we have channels and signs of grace. It only needs us to realize how to read them. You know, God is everywhere. God is omnipresent. We only need to know how to read and understand God. If we only knew the activities, appearance, and disappearance of God, then we would know how to go through our day-to-day life through God's guidance. Let's take the story of the beautiful girl and the powerful man in terms of school. Schools being the powerful man. This hypothesis here, I will take it to represent a school. Let me tell you why a school. I said chess is a game of kingdoms. Kingdoms are just like the authority. Nowadays, we have governments as the authorities. Authorities have their institutions. Sorry. Authorities have their institutions, okay? From our introduction, sacraments, as I understand, are signs specially instituted to be channels of grace. So, just in this religious aspect, we have sacraments. Sacraments, they are specially instituted. But why? But what? They are symbols. Symbols in a way that they symbolize sign of and channels of what? To be a symbol of sign and channel of grace. In a way that if you take it, then in some way of autonomously, you have grace in you. And God's grace have to fill you. Okay? But have you ever wondered why you have to go for mafundisho? Mafundisho are ni religious education. This is some religious education that you have to pass through if you're, I guess in Muslim we call them madras. Madras, the ones that you have to, the education that you have to pass through. It's like an initiation of, a religious initiation of a child into youthful stage. There are things that you have to learn, religious education. Okay. So let's take that. Before you start taking what? Before you start taking sacraments, you have to go through a what? You have to go through a process of what? Of learning. For you to understand why you're taking what? Sacrament, the meaning of it. So I would like to say that instead of trying to learn, let's take it like this. Instead of trying to learn all these ways in this madras education, how about you will learn the structuring of it, the structuring and patterns of it. It is the moral installation that is being instilled in these institutions, the ways they are used, the methodology of it. You see, the methodology of instilling knowledge in someone's brain in these institutions, for me, I guess, are the things that matter, because these are the methods that we should carry into our day-to-day life in a way that we have to be very, very concentrating and persistent and not giving up and courageous and pure in terms of what? In terms of just as the same way when we are in these madrasas and these religious educational centers, when we try to keep pure, we taught this and that, this and that. You get what I mean? We try to put them in a way that if we have our projects or if we need to know something, the way we should actually, these ways that we are taught represents how we should keep ourselves in a way that we keep ourselves pure, so that we can realize ourselves. We can remain in our state of what? Of conscious. Because body control is being used in our social system in one or the other. But then it only takes for you to realize that actually this body control, how far, to what extent is it harmful to my body? Okay? So I think I'm using this example of madras, or the religious educational centers, in relation to maybe school. Let me take this. I'm using this chess because I would like to tell you how I can equate this game to schools. Schools, primary, basic. I'd say this is basic knowledge, educational knowledge. So let's take, for example, the previous system, the previous educational system, 844. We can also even take this current one, the how do we call this curriculum that is here? CBC. We can still use the CBC formula, but let's take the primary one, because let's try to decode the minds of people who went through all 844, because I think 844 was I'm not being let's take this as a positive criticism. Let's take this as positive criticism, because one of the religious behaviors that we got are going to school. We go to school religiously. Some we go knowing why we go there. Some we don't know why we go there, because we're just told by our parents, let's go to school. You get what I mean? But then here, I want to tell you the reason why you should go to school. If you're joining me, my name is Oduoro Nyango, and this is D.T.M, Decoding the Mindset Through the Word of God. You're welcome. If you haven't liked this video or this video, please like it, comment, compliment us, subscribe in our YouTube. You can find us in all our socials. Please make sure that you follow us and you subscribe, and you share, so that this educational content can reach millions and millions and millions of people. Okay? I'm picking on this hypothesis of chess to represent what? To represent a school. Let's take these chess characters. I'll take one side. I'll take this as a school.